Welcome back to our anime. What really happened during those 5 days when Long went from respected warrior to the most feared hunter in Star Tower? Well, buckle up, because this is one of the most brutal and calculated killing sprees in Swallowed Star history. After returning from his 6,000-year inheritance trial, Luo Feng didn't just come back stronger. He came back with god-tier advantages and a mission to build a slave army by any means necessary. Over 5 days, he systematically hunted down A+ Immortal King-level warriors, specifically targeting Soul Masters in a massacre so savage that it sent shockwaves through all 3 camps. Let's break down every insane detail about this legendary killing spree that made even invincible Immortal Kings think twice. Don't forget to subscribe to support the channel. And without further ado, let's begin with number 12. Star Tower Master Privileges, the ultimate hunting ground. Here's something most people completely miss. Luo Feng wasn't just another warrior exploring Star Tower. He was its master. After surviving the 6,000-year inheritance trial, he gained complete control over this 9 light-year tall treasure. What does that mean? He could see the exact location of all 359 human immortals inside at any given moment. But it gets even more insane as Master Luo Feng could control when exits appeared in the forbidden spaces. Normally, warriors could teleport out when an exit opened. Under Luo Feng's control, no exits would appear unless he willed it. He could trap Immortal King-level warriors in sealed spaces for as long as he wanted, a day, 10 days, even a month. This wasn't a fair fight. It was a slaughterhouse where Luo Feng controlled every single door. He could pick any battle to join, teleport himself directly there, and his prey couldn't escape until he decided to let them go. That's not hunting, that's execution with extra steps. Number 11. The King Blade River Secret Identity Strategy. Most viewers don't realize that King Blade River isn't just a cool name. It's Long's carefully constructed secret identity. The Primal Chaos City leader himself helped create a completely fake background for this persona with detailed records from youth to Immortal King level. All without a single loophole. Why go through all this trouble? Because if the universe knew Luo Feng, disciple of the Primal Chaos City leader, was massacring warriors and building a slave army, it would create massive political problems. But King Blade River, some mysterious warrior with Heavy Arrow as his slave, that's just another dangerous fighter in the extraterritorial battlefield wars. This separation was absolutely critical. It allowed Luo Feng to hunt freely, accumulate insane wealth, and control powerful slaves without bringing heat down on his family or teachers. The duality gave him freedom to be as ruthless as necessary while keeping his real identity protected. Number 10. Why Soul Masters were the primary targets. Here's where the strategy gets brilliant and brutal. Luo Feng wasn't randomly killing warriors. He was specifically hunting pinnacle Immortal King Soul Masters. Why? Because Soul Masters are the only warriors who can efficiently create soul slaves. Their expertise in soul techniques makes them incredibly valuable as slaves themselves, but also makes them the hardest to capture. Soul Masters spend countless years studying how to control souls, making them naturally resistant to soul control techniques. They know all the tricks, all the defenses, all the escape methods. But here's the thing. If you can control one, they become an incredibly powerful tool for controlling others. That's exactly what Luo Feng needed. He required Soul Master slaves to increase his success rate in capturing future targets. It was a calculated investment, sacrifice time, and effort hunting the hardest prey to gain the tools needed for easier future hunts. Every Soul Master he targeted was a strategic chess piece in building his slave empire. Number 9. The Star Map's combat debut, 6 Sealed Stars of Destruction. This was the first time Long used his newly acquired star map in actual combat, and the results were absolutely devastating. The star map is a heavy treasure that can hold up to 100,000 sealed stars. And each sealed star is itself a treasure. For this hunting campaign, Long loaded it with 100 sealed stars, but typically only used 6 at a time. These weren't normal projectiles. Each sealed star was between 9,000 to 90,000 kilometers in diameter, before being compressed into marble-sized black spheres. When Luo Feng launched them with his consciousness and willpower alone, without even using law engravings, they hit with enough force to completely shatter an immortal's defenses. When he did activate the law engravings, the 6 stars would form his sky-tearing claw technique, creating a massive beast god projection, whose single claw slash could tear through space itself and shred enemies into fragments. The star map's versatility was insane. He could switch techniques at will, use the stars as pure blunt force weapons, or activate devastating law-infused attacks. It was the perfect controller's weapon. Number 8, King Black Crow, the first failed capture. The very first target of this massacre was King Black Crow, a pinnacle immortal king soulmaster from the demon camp's Kia race. Luo Feng's strategy was methodical. Use heavy arrow to distract Black Crow's teammates, 2 fortress-like Chuja brothers, while he personally dealt with a Black Crow using overwhelming force. Black Crow tried his soul illusion attack first. It was completely dispersed by Luo Feng's Beast God Raw technique and Tower Pearl Soul defense. Then Luo Feng launched his 6 sealed stars. The first one smashed into Black Crow's shield with such force that his entire arm was destroyed. The second ball knocked the shield away completely. The remaining 4 balls struck his body directly, shattering bones and muscles, forcing him to spit blood. Even though Black Crow's divine body recovered instantly through his immortal energy, Long then unleashed the star map with long engravings activated. The sky-tearing claw projection tore him to shreds. But here's where it gets dark. Luo Feng then used a sealed star coated in Forazin. Music, this purple ball shot through Black Crow's fragments, destroying 52% of his divine body instantly. With his strength reduced below 50%, Long tried the 10,000 soul control technique. Black Crow's soul struggled madly. And after breaking free from the control attempt, he immediately chose to self-destruct rather than become a slave. The explosion was so massive it injured his own teammates. First attempt, complete failure. But Long had just started learning. Number 7, the For Poison strategy. Reducing enemies to 1,050% strength. After King Black Crow's self-destruction, Luo Feng refined his approach. The key insight was this. He needed to weaken enemies to under 10% of their strength before attempting soul control. But there was a problem. Using the FOMO poison twice could outright kill them, and each use destroyed anywhere from 30 to 80% of their divine body randomly. He couldn't control the exact damage. So Luo Feng developed a brutal but effective method. Hit them with 1 FOMO poison attack to reduce their strength to roughly 30 to 50%. Then immediately used a 10,000 soul control technique while they were weakened but not dead. This gave him the best chance of success. The Farmal poison was absolutely critical, because it didn't just damage their body, it prevented them from burning their immortal energy to boost their soul resistance. Once that poison hit, they were operating at a fraction of their power, making them vulnerable to soul invasion. Of course, this method still had a low success rate, maybe 20% at best, but it was better than nothing. Every immortal king he killed with this method left behind 30-60 billion Hunyuan units in treasures. So even failures were profitable. Number 6, 12 battles in 4 days, 3 kills per day. The sheer pace of this massacre is what made it legendary. Day 1, 3 battles, all enemies killed, 0 successful captures. Treasures acquired, approximately 160 billion Hunyuan units. Day 2, 3 more battles. All enemies killed. Still no captures. Treasures acquired. Approximately 210 billion Hunyuan units. Day 3 and 4 followed the same pattern. Think about what this means. Luo Feng was fighting 3 Immortal King-level battles per day, each one against pinnacle Soul Masters with their defensive teams. These weren't quick skirmishes. Each battle required locating targets via Star Tower's surveillance, teleporting to their location, engaging multiple enemies simultaneously since Soul Masters always traveled with protection, overwhelming their defenses with the star map, poisoning them with their FOMO, attempting soul control, and then killing them when control failed. The fact that he maintained this pace for 4 straight days, without rest, shows inhuman efficiency. And remember, he spent the time between battles studying and refining his 10,000 soul control technique, making each attempt slightly better than the last. By day 5, his technique had improved enough that his success rate jumped from 20% to 33%. Number 5, the King honed hard capture. First successful soul slave. On day 5 during the second hunt, everything finally clicked. The target was King Honed Heart, a diamond man from the Palu Wa race whose body was covered in crystal-embedded skin. After the standard procedure, star map bombardment, FOMO poison reducing him to 36% strength, and then the refined 10,000 soul control technique, Luo Feng's soul threads successfully invaded. Honed Heart's soul struggled violently. His soul imprints fighting desperately to break free. But this time, after dozens of attempts and countless refinements to the technique, Long's control held firm. The moment Honed Heart submitted, his eyes filled with utmost respect as he bowed and called Luo Feng master. This was the breakthrough Luo Feng needed. Honed Heart had a special ability. He could burn his own divine body to temporarily surge his soul control power. This meant when Luo Feng used him in future captures, the success rate would multiply significantly. With Honed Heart assisting, controlling the next target became much easier. This single capture transformed the entire hunting campaign from a brutal grind into an exponentially scaling operation. Number 4. The camp distribution spreading fear across 3 factions. Here's a detail that shows how calculated this massacre was. The 12-plus dead warriors weren't from a single camp. 9 of them managed to send out death notifications before dying. And those 9 were distributed as follows. Machine Camp, 4 killed. Demon Camp, 2 killed. Music Zerg Camp, 3 killed. The other 3 died too fast to even alert anyone. Why does this matter? Because the 3 camps are bitter enemies who don't share information quickly. By spreading the kills across all 3 factions, Luo Feng ensured that no single camp could organize a concentrated response against him immediately. Each camp knew King Blade River was hunting their warriors, but they didn't know the full scope until much later. By the time they realized he'd killed 12 warriors total, the massacre was already over and Luo Feng had vanished. This distribution also meant that when warriors from each camp started forming hunting parties to find Blade River, they were competing against each other as much as searching for him. And the chaos and paranoia this created was exactly what Luo Feng needed to disappear safely. Number 3, the universe's reaction. Terrifying King Blade River. When news spread through Star Tower about what happened, the reaction was explosive. Warriors from all 3 camps began discussing this mysterious King Blade River, who could kill pinnacle soul masters. Warriors who were supposed to be nearly immune to most attacks due to their soul defenses. The rumors focused on 2 shocking facts. His material defense was heavenly. He had previously withstood the strongest flame god crystal explosion. And now his soul defense was apparently just as terrifying. But here's what made everyone truly afraid. King Blade River had no weaknesses. Material attack, he'd tank it. Soul attack, he'd tank it, too. How do you fight someone like that? Warriors started saying things like, Blade River is worthy of his name. And even if he has arcana treasures, he deserves them. Some warriors, scared of becoming the next victim, actually left Star Tower temporarily. Others, bloodthirsty and confident, rushed in, excited by the chaos and the chance to claim wealth from all the deaths. The atmosphere inside Star Tower went from controlled competition to absolute madness. And through it all, the name King Blade River became synonymous with unstoppable calculated brutality. Music 2, King Lifefall and Dalong start hunting him. The bounty. When absolute warriors like King Lifefall and Dalong heard about the massacre, they didn't react with fear. They reacted with greed. King Lifefall immediately issued a bounty, 1 billion indigo gems for confirmed information on Blade River's location. His reasoning was simple. Anyone who could kill that many Immortal King-level warriors must have incredible treasures and massive wealth. Just the items from the dead Immortal Kings alone would be a fortune. King Lifefall and Long both began actively hunting for Blade River. And here's the terrifying part. King Genie later told Long that these warriors weren't trying to enforce justice or stop a massacre. They wanted to see if they could defeat Blade River as a test of strength. If Blade River could escape from them, that would prove his power and cement his legend. It became a challenge, a game for the absolute strongest warriors. Long had killed enough to attract attention, but not so many that universe masters would intervene. There are hidden rules. Massacre too many and the super beings gang up on you. He walked that line perfectly. Becoming famous enough to matter, while staying below the threshold that would trigger collective retaliation. 1. The 2 Immortal King limit slave army strategy, exponential power growth. Here's the absolutely game-changing aspect that most people miss. After capturing King Honed Heart, Long didn't stop. He now had 2 Immortal King limit slaves. Heavy Arrow captured earlier and Honed Heart captured during this massacre. This was when the real strategy revealed itself. Instead of personally hunting anymore, Luo Feng began sending his 2 Immortal King limit slaves to hunt together, armed with his sealed stars and far more poison. 2 Immortal King limits working together, equipped with heavy treasures, became an unstoppable killing force. Every time a sealed star attacked, it caused a huge commotion. But Luo Feng had strictly ordered his slaves to never use the star-sealing abilities, only their attack power. They appeared as strange crystal balls, making them unrecognizable as the legendary sealed stars from Star Tower. This kept the connection to Star Tower hidden. The wealth continued pouring in as his slaves hunted, and each successful capture added another warrior to the army. The system became self-sustaining and exponentially powerful. Long had transformed from a lone hunter into the master of an ever-growing empire of enslaved Immortal King-level warriors, all operating under his absolute control. The massacre was just the beginning. What he built from it would terrorize the universe for years to come. So there you have it. Every brutal, calculated detail of Luo Feng's legendary 5-day massacre in Star Tower. This wasn't mindless violence. It was surgical, strategic, and absolutely ruthless. He used Star Tower's master privileges to create an inescapable hunting ground, refined his soul controls technique through dozens of attempts, and ultimately built the foundation for an Immortal King-level slave army that would serve him for years. The fact that he walked away from killing 12+ Immortal King-level warriors without triggering Universe Master intervention shows just how perfectly he calculated everything. Which detail shocked you the most? The Star Tower master privileges, the soul control strategy, or the exponential slave army growth? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Swallowed Star content. This video will end here.